Yo, what is up, guys? XRP is at $1.06 right now in CoinMarketCap. Our first tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Justin, SEC Chair Paul Atkins says he will support Congress in passing the Clarity Act. I am committed to supporting Congress in advancing the Clarity Act, including providing technical assistance. Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Square. The SEC has spoken. SEC Chairman Paul Atkins has pledged to help Congress move the Clarity Act across the finish line. When the SEC lawmakers and Wall Street start pulling in the same direction, it's getting harder to ignore where crypto is heading. Let's watch this video.
We are ready, willing, and able to come out with rules, that address the same issues in clarity and other aspects of the crypto market. Ultimately, we need the certainty of a statute that will help future-proof so that we have clear direction and to go for.
Smash the subscribe button and hit that like button if you believe XRP will reach $3 again this year. Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Square. The SEC is ready. SEC Chairman Paul Atkins says he's optimistic Congress will pass the Clarity Act and that the agency is ready to implement clear rules for digital assets as soon as lawmakers act. Congress has one job left. Let's watch this video.
Well, I'm optimistic that Congress will pass the Clarity Act, and we're doing all we can to help them answer their questions and provide technical assistance. But ultimately, statute is the way to future-proof something. We are ready, willing, and able to come out with rules, that address the same issues in clarity and other aspects of the crypto market. And I think that it behooves us to do that, either to implement the Clarity Act or if something should not happen in Congress, then we stand ready to provide that. But ultimately, we need the certainty of a statute that will help future-proof so that we have clear direction and to go for.
Yeah. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. News: Senate Majority Leader John Thune on Clarity Act. We will probably have a vote on the Clarity Act, which is the digital assets bill/legislation. We'll see if Democrats give us the votes to get on that. Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Breaking: U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune confirmed on Fox News that the Clarity Act will be voted on in the Senate before the August recess. Let's watch this video.
What do you believe you can get accomplished before the August recess, and then you come back in September? How imperative is it that these items get voted on?
Well, first off, we're going to do Russia sanctions, and that's a tribute to Lindsey Graham, who we all are going to, commemorate tomorrow. I think we'll get that done. I think we got to fund the government, and I think we're on a path to do that.
You don't think Chuck Schumer's shutting it down?
We'll see. I'm going to find out this week. But I think there's also there's a package of nominations. It's about 74 noms that the president's put forward that we're moving them in block. We'll do that. We will probably have a vote on the Clarity Act, which is the digital assets bill legislation that's in front of the Senate. We'll see if the Democrats give us the votes to get on that. There's also a possibility on NIL legislation. I had a couple of conversations over the weekend with people like Ted Cruz, Eric Schmidt have been working on that issue. And that's the college sports issue. A lot of people are interested in that.
I know the president has leaned on you hard. He's leaned on Mike Johnson hard. You have very slim majorities. In terms of his priorities, what percentage of those do you believe you can have done before the midterm elections? Because he's got a lot on his wish list.
He does. The main thing he wants, Sean, as you know, is the Save America Act, and that is something where. Like I said, we've had multiple votes on it now. Not a single Democrat has voted for it. I think we continue to put him on the record.
Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis drops list of firms supporting the Clarity Act. BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, SoFi passed the Clarity Act. Our next tweet comes from Smoke DQG. DTCC. The July pilot was a test to prepare for the big tokenization launch in October 2026. Listen closely. Let's watch this video.
Dean, you're saying we need to get going. What is the biggest hurdle right now for you to get people into the boat and actually try in these things?
We've gotten, if any of your audience is a cook, we've got the meal part there, right? We've got, as I said earlier, the infrastructure, we've got the regulation, and we've got the digital cash. Now the infrastructure is the issue right now is the overall state of readiness of these firms to start to move forward. And Mark, for 10 years, right, we have expressed a lot of frustration that we've been spending money and time and energy, yet nothing is moving. And if you look at why that was, is we sort of fragmented a market that's really had a lot of consolidation in the past, right? Like DTCC is the sole pulse trade provider in the US, but digital over time sort of fragmented that landscape because we had a lot of different firms setting up their own infrastructure. So that's hopefully coming to a point where DTCC, through our work, will hopefully act as an aggregator of data and an aggregator of liquidity and move forward. But what we did find out, though, is a lot of innovation has been done via press release over these years, and now that we're ready to move forward, I think a lot of firms are taking a step back and going, "Are we truly ready? Do we have the right infrastructure for wallet management? Do we have the right infrastructure for trading risk management?" So it's not the same. A lot of people felt, and Roy hinted to that in his earlier comments, there are new novel risks that will emerge from doing what we're doing, and firms have a responsibility. We are fiduciaries. We're not managing our own money. We're managing it on behalf of others. So our risk management must be super clear. Our compliance capabilities must be super clear. Holding these wallets safe is going to be, and that's what we're seeing. So that's why we broke our go-to-market approach in two. The first phase we're doing in July is really to allow the industry to test the waters, make sure that they're ready. During the summer, we'll allow them to jump into the pool and really test out all the things that they need to do, hopefully with a big launch in October. So that, in my opinion, right now.
Our next view comes from Ripple City. Justin, Emiratis embracing crypto brings XRP one step closer to airline bookings. Our next week comes from Smoke DQG, DTCC. For the first time in history, we will have shared digital market infrastructure. Watch. Let's watch this video.
Is really where we stand. But a lot of the things that Roy and Chris outlined in their report, like when I read it, it's spot on. Like it's not a hedge anymore. Like it's time to move forward. There's got to be no regrets spending and investments as we move forward. And a lot of firms also, just financial institutions, are very cautious by nature, as they should, and you want them to be. Well, you talk to a lot of them, they're like, we'll be a close follower. But this is moving so fast that there's going to be a gap between the people that start and that close follower that could be a bit tough to catch up. So our job, the beauty of what I do is I don't compete with any of these firms. What we're truly trying to do is bring and this is important too, for the first time ever in our collective history, we will have shared digital market infrastructure with an emphasis on shared, which is critical. And as we move forward, we'll hopefully see more adoption. But talk to me on early November, and we can give you a good sense on how that goes.
Our next tweet comes from Smoke DQG, a realistic path to rapid institutional on-chain migration. Many discount the possibility of a fast migration of institutional capital into tokenized assets. However, Boston Consulting Group's Rory Choudhury provides an optimistic scenario for the near-term adoption of blockchain. According to Mr. Choudhury, a handful of core market participants could agree to drive trillions of dollars of capital to create sufficient momentum for the quick adoption and growth in tokenization. Listen closely, let's watch this video.
Then maybe what seems a bit of a stretch of imagination in the first instance maybe is not so. So if you just take a very simple example, there are trillions of dollars of derivative margin that are exchanged every day amongst market participants. The US Treasury repo market is about $1 trillion and more. And these are markets where a few counterparties coming together can make a significant amount of difference, right? So there is no reason why not in the near term, if the core market participants come together and agree to drive momentum, you couldn't see those markets transition very, very quickly, right? So I think many of them are pretty concentrated markets where 15 to 20 counterparties drive a huge amount of volume. The business case and the value proposition is very compelling. So you could see these markets transition at a much quicker speed as the flywheel of adoption sort of.
Our next tweet comes from Ripple City. Justin, SEC Chair Paul Atkins backs advancing the Clarity Act as XRP stands to benefit. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Justin, Senator Mike Herodopoulos talks Clarity Act on Fox. The Clarity Act helps grow the American economy. Clarity will allow us to make sure that we are at the center of the action on digital assets, blockchain, and the internet in general. Let's watch this video.
Well, I think it's common sense that we move forward. I mean, this is about the future of currency in the world and making sure that American markets are the premier markets in the world. This is how we attract the capital necessary to grow our economy. And the great thing about Clarity, digital assets, blockchain, whatever you want to call it, is it speeds up transactions and reduces costs. That's what everyone should be looking for in the most common sense way. And I got to admit, as a House member, we're incredibly frustrated. We finally passed a bill that says no longer can congressmen buy stocks. We passed a bill that say only Americans vote in American elections. We passed a bill that says that you show voter ID. and the Senate kind of sits on their hands. And this is why a lot of us are saying the filibuster rule is outdated, and we need to allow the votes to finally take place, because when you allow the filibuster to hold, what that means is that the verdict of the 2024 election is nullified, because Democrats will simply play politics, abuse this privilege of delay, and deny the American voter what they want, which is, again, voter ID, Americans only, and things like the Clarity Act, which help grow the American economy. We've already seen trillions of dollars come into America because they realize this government actually wants to see business growth as opposed to the previous administration. Clarity will allow us to make sure that we are the center of the action on digital assets, the blockchain, or the internet in general. That's what we're focused on, and we hope the Senate will finally get on board and really energize this economy even further.
All right.